Hi everyone, welcome to PowerShell for Penetration Testers at Pentester Academy. In this video and couple of upcoming videos, let's discuss privilege escalation with the help of PowerShell. In our lab machine domain PC, which we have been using as a target, we have been assuming that because of the exploit methodologies we discussed, we have a local administrative access on that machine. Let's throw away that assumption and try to escalate privileges from a normal user to a local administrator. We will use PowerUp, a part of Power Tools, which is collection of various PowerShell tools. It is again written by Will, and it is the best thing around for privilege escalation with the help of PowerShell. So let's first target services. Let's see if there are any services with unquoted path for their binaries, and that path, if the path contains a space in it. So here we are on the target with non-administrative privileges. Now let's run get service. It is get service unquoted. So there is no such service. Let's try this next thing, that is, if we have any service where we have permissions to write to its binary or executable. So there are two such services. FileZilla server, which I have modified to be vulnerable. It is not vulnerable by default, and another service called test service. We will come back in a minute on how to exploit this. And we let's look at get service permissions. That is, if we have permissions to modify a service, not only the executable but the service. So there is no such service. Now we can exploit the vulnerabilities or opportunities in these services using one of these. If we had any service where we have the permissions to modify it, we could use invoke service user add. Let's try it anyways, though it would not be usable right now because we have no such service where we can modify the service. But let's use test service to try. Username exploit add password pass safe 123, which is not safe, but we do not have any access to that service. This one, write user add service binary, could be used to generate a binary which will create a user with the given username and password. This is useful, for example, if we get any service which has unquoted path misconfiguration or something like that. This is which would be useful in our scenario because we have misconfigured service permissions for two services. Prior to that, let's see the details about both of the vulnerable services. So it has been started and it is running as a local system. And what about test service? It has not been started and it is stopped. So it would be a better option if we can do stuff with the FileZilla server. So let's use write service exe. Service name is FileZilla server. Username is exploit added. Password would be pass new 123. So the binary for service is created, which is good. Let's see if there is any user called exploit ID. No, there is none. Now we have couple of options. Either we can try to stop the FileZilla server and start it so that our executable gets executed, but we do not have permissions on the service. We have only permissions on its executable. So one option is to log off and log on, because FileZilla server is configured to run on the user logon. Let's see if we can find it here. As you can see, the start mode is auto. That means we should be lucky enough if we log off and log on. And let's see if we have a user called exploit edit. No, there's no such user, but we got a operation successful message. So let's just log off again and log in. It is possible that it was not triggered. So yes, let's run it again. Looks like the service is not being restarted. So either a user with administrative privileges should log on so that we have the service restarted, or we can reboot the machine. So let's try rebooting it and see if our service gets executed and the modified binary gets executed as well. Meanwhile, the machine reboots. Let's move on to the exercise. So the exercise is to write a simple PowerShell script or code to list all those services which have unquoted path and there is a space in the path. That is, do it by yourself. We need to do what get service unquoted is doing for us. That is, search for services vulnerable to the unquoted path misconfiguration. Do not look at the source of get service unquoted path. Try to do it yourself. WMI, etc. would be helpful. Meanwhile, our machine reboots and let's log in. So now we are definite that the FileZilla server service would be restarted, and if our exploit for that privilege escalation works, we should have a user added on this machine. Let's run net user, and great, we have the exploit added user added to the machine. So we saw that how we can exploit the various misconfiguration in services on a Windows machine to escalate our privileges. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, please recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the information security community.